Hi, my name is Wendy and welcome to my new ADU. I have this beautiful big yard here in Portland, and from the second that I bought this house, I was really interested in being able to build a tiny house in the backyard. So I moved into this house a couple of years ago and started to get pretty serious about this project. I grew up here in Portland. My folks are still here. They're actually in the big blue house I grew up in, and so wanted to have kind of a plan B as my parents got older. My sister lives just a few blocks away here in the same neighborhood, and so we thought it made perfect sense to move forward with this ADU project and have it when we're ready for our folks to bring them in a little bit closer. I went with Shelter Solutions primarily because I'd lived in a Shelter Solution ADU a few blocks away from here. I'd returned from living overseas, COVID was over, I was trying to get back on my feet and basically rented a space from a friend who had worked with Shelter Solutions. And so when I started to get serious about my project, I interviewed 5 or 6 different companies here in Portland that do the design and build, but knew instantly from the second I spoke with the Shelter Solutions folks that was the team I was going to go with. And less than a year later, we're sitting here in front of the house, and I'm really excited about how it turned out. My yard is really, really big, and that actually gave me a lot of space, literally, to figure out where I wanted to put the ADU. And I decided to go about halfway into the backyard so that the folks living in the house, whether it's my parents or whether it's renters, have their own separate backyard. They're not right up against the church, but there's still a lot of distance and a lot of privacy between my house and the ADU. So that was kind of the first decision, was where in the yard we wanted to put it. And then I started to think about sort of keeping it simple, keeping it all on one level so that it was really, appropriate for aging in place. So knew it needed to be kind of a square box. I didn't want lofts or stairs or anything that could be dangerous for my aging parents. And I really also felt like it was really important to have outdoor space that was really an extension of the house. Having lived in a small space before, also having spent time in New York and other places with small apartments, it's really important to have that extension, to have extra light, to have that extra space. And so that's how we sort of ended up with the design of the A-frame or the apex roof that just extends from the front all the way to the back. I think from the inside it makes it feel like it's quite a bit bigger, and from the outside, you can almost envision just sort of sitting out there having a party, having some beers with friends and enjoying that time in the backyard. I want to give credit to my sister, who is an artist and very visual, and she's the one that kind of came up with the roof extension idea, and we couldn't be happier with it. The only piece of advice I'd give to anybody working on an ADU is to ask questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question, especially with Shelter Solutions. These guys, they know what they're doing. I always felt that they had grace and patience with me because this was all very new. So whether it was trying to figure out the color of my door or the handles of the cabinet, I really felt like I had people to talk to. Jake, the contractor, just explained things to me every step of the way. I nodded a lot, I smiled a lot because I didn't know necessarily what he was talking about, but he made me feel very included in the process, explained things in a way that made it really accessible. So I would say with this particular company, there's no such thing as a stupid question, and that's the advice I would give is don't be afraid to ask. I do just want to say a huge thank you to the team at Shelter Solutions and at Stone Creek Construction. I had somebody holding my hand every step of the way. People were really invested in this project. They were really invested in me, asking how did my parents like it? Were my parents excited? And I really just felt very supported throughout this entire process. So thank you to everybody. It's been a crazy year and I can't believe we did it, but I'm really excited.